Um, Feedback I've had from the market when I've been out talking to business owners and other consultants, leaders, salespeople in the past week is that a lot of businesses this past week or two have been very much in lockdown mode as they've shifted their business model to the work from home, all of the technology requirements, all of the communication requirements. They haven't necessarily been ready to have some of these proper response and forward-looking conversations. But from next week, they will. Every business is different. Some sectors, of course, are booming right now. They're crying out for help because they're growing so fast. Use that to your advantage. But for those who are really starting to come up for air from the crisis, they're looking for help. And if they're your existing clients or prospects, here's what I'm encouraging you to do next week. Okay. Little known fact about me, I won the University of Queensland Australian History Prize. That's relevant because this is quite a historical artifact that we've got here as a picture right now. For those who aren't familiar with it, this is called a telephone. Now, I'm the first to note that I'm not a big fan of phone calls. I love text messages. I have worked remotely for a number of years. I do a lot via text, via WhatsApp, via email. I find it a lot more convenient than having to pick up the telephone. Now is not the time to avoid the telephone. Now is not the time to be scared of calls. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was telling people to get out their coronavirus email. That time has passed. Now we need to be direct and connect is a couple of themes if you want for this week, direction and connection. And for your existing clients, that means picking up the phone and having a conversation. What's the conversation that you're wanting to have? That's going to vary. It's got to be a very open conversation. You've got to be open to whatever's going on for them. Here are the 4 questions that I would recommend that you ask. And please, if you've got a team, of client managers, be sharing these. What are you experiencing, Mr. Client? What are you experiencing right now? This is great feedback. What one business is experiencing and doing, you can share with other businesses. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community to get through a recession. If you're a conduit for a lot of those conversations, if you're talking to many business owners about what they're seeing and doing, and you can be sharing that wisdom, that's incredibly valuable. That's a great investment of your time right now. So asking, what are they experiencing? How are they feeling? What do they need? And how can you help? And a little bit of follow-up detail on each of those. So what are they experiencing? That's useful data. Every sector is different and every business is unique. You might be making the assumption that a client is really up the creek right now, and you call them and discover that, for whatever reason, they are well placed. They're responding very, very well right now, or things have fallen into their lap and that's going well. Have that conversation. That's fantastic. The flip may also be true. A business that you thought was going to be doing really well right now and for whatever reason is struggling. Ask the question, don't make the assumptions. Feelings. I used to be a partner in an accounting business. Feelings were the F word. Maybe that's part of why I'm not a partner in an accounting firm anymore. Feelings for me are a critical part of business. They're a critical part of supporting, particularly small and medium business owners. You need, even if it's not your natural strength, even if it's not your skill set, right now you need to have empathy. You need to create the space and let people share with you whatever it is that they need or want to be sharing with you. You don't have to buy into it. You don't have to solve those problems. You just have to be there. And for some people, you may be the only real support they can get. If they're really hurting, that's a difficult thing to take home to their spouse. That's a difficult thing to take to their team, who are also worried and may read too much into it. Having a trusted advisor or a team that will listen to you, incredibly valuable. So don't underestimate just being there, asking the question and listening in terms of how you are helping. One of my favorite questions in sales, one of my favorite questions for existing clients, you're looking for the next sale, is what do you need? What do you need right now? Most business owners are very in touch with their intuition. Gut feel, they know what they need right now. They know what their business needs. Ask that question. You'll often have to have created the space. These questions are in an order for a reason. They may not go like that when you have those conversations, but if you're having the feeling conversation, you're getting into the feelings, the intuition, that's the best time to ask, what do you need? Even if it's nothing to do with you. You're not asking, what can I do? You're asking, what do you need? And the follow-up question may be, how can I help? To which I would ask, can you help? It's quite possible right now that you're not in a position to give those business owners what they need over and above being there and listening to them. And so one thing that I would greatly encourage you to be leaning on, not just calling all of your existing clients as soon as you possibly can this week, but also checking in on all of your referral partners, your business networks, your community. You may not have all of the solutions right now, heck, none of us do, but your network probably are able to help. And I'm going to reference a couple. Last week, I talked about some HR advisories, some CFO accounting companies, bookkeepers who are doing great things. We talked about cash flow. I went to the experts. Some of those are quite relevant right now. Maybe there's lawyers, maybe there's lease negotiations, maybe there's people who are on top of government grants, whatever it might be. Tap into your network, find out what they're doing to help their clients, because they may be able to help your clients as well. It takes a community. Whatever you do this week, do not send an email with the words coronavirus or COVID in the subject line and think that that is sufficient for touching base with your clients. And I know, just looking at some of you who are joining me live, some of you have hundreds of clients. Some of you may be listening to me say, pick up the telephone, and you're thinking that's impossible. Look, working from home for a lot of businesses was impossible a week ago. Shutting down the borders of our country was impossible a week ago. As Audrey Hepburn said, even the word impossible says I'm possible. And even in these circumstances, we must find ways to do it and to be there and be human, not be at the end of an email.